Hi everyone. Today we are going to talk about why learning to code is so hard. Want to know how to become a developer without a degree? Check the description below. Patience. How many hours have we not spent in school, almost every week for many years, to become mediocre in subjects such as math and English**. School is incredibly inefficient though. Nothing can ever teach you as efficiently as you having learned how to learn, if that makes sense. This is primarily what I've realized college taught me. The endless non-pertinent HW problems and non-core classes that consumed so much valuable time and more wasteful lectures where I personally gained very little or really came to pass, that I learned how to learn, and can target my consumed knowledge now more appropriately and effectively. Same here. Especially simple memorization of words and dates when studying history or some language seemed needlessly brutal at the time, but is a useful skill to have. I find memorization so much easier now. Must be said BTW that it probably also helps that by now you usually only study something you actually want to study. Most parents in my country have to go seek tutors outside the school for their kids 'cause of how inefficient school teaching is. Exactly. That would also reduce unnecessary costs of education. Because of this phenomenon there are literally tutor schools in my country, which parents enroll their kids in, while they are already attending regular school. Most of these tutor schools are farming for money, and don't have passion in education. They are just training kids like robots, to complete exam papers, just so that they can pass/obtain accuracy in pubic exams and that's it. No education at all, and it's very sad. I think the person in the video shows something that a lot of beginners get wrong. I tried installing a C++ learning via the command line, and I didn't know the command line at all. So basically she was learning 3 completely new things at the same time. C++, which is not an easy language to learn, installing a C++ library, also not easy, and learning the command line, which has a steep learning curve too. A lot of people get stuck on this, and then get confused, because there's 10-year-olds learning programming to write. Does that mean you're dumb? No, you're just going way too fast. I started programming at 10. Did I start with installing C++ libraries? Of course not. I started with making tiny modifications to existing basic programs. Am I naturally talented? Not at all. I'm a totally average person. But I always do one thing at the time. I don't try changing 10 things at the same time, because then you're just going to create a mess. You don't start learning programming by creating an MMO. Your first game will be something like a text-based hangman, and the next game will be only slightly more complex. So learning programming isn't hard, it just takes a lot of time, like most skills do. I agree with your general point, but programming is also pretty hard to not necessarily learn, but to keep improving at. The issue with programming is to get started you pretty much have to use tools that you don't understand, and you're learning something that really smart people with a lot of experience built and developed. As a beginner, you are simply incapable of understanding the larger picture, and so much of your experience as a programmer goes to slowly revealing parts of that larger picture one pixel at a time. Sometimes, the pixels you reveal begin to look like something recognizable to you, and at those times the progress you make feels meaningful, but often, it's very overwhelming trying to make something out of how little you understand. I just got a job as a front-end developer after a year of learning React. This is my story and it sounds awesome when I tell people. But what I did not tell them is that I started with Java, spent countless days creating useless stuff, made some stupid Android apps in Android Studio, left it and started with C#, spent years developing amateur indie games in Unity, left it and started with Python, and wrote 1,000 lines of Python code. Left it and then I picked up React and landed a job. Honestly, if I had known I'd land a CS job unrelated to my college degree I would just have dropped out. Congrats. The thing with learning any programming language is that it is very practice heavy. When I began learning from a book it took me longer than I would like to admit to realize you need to actually use everything you learn to grasp its usefulness and to build muscle memory. I would spend ages studying example code from some small example and try and remake it, then use it to do something else. Also take my comment with a drop of vinegar, because I stopped learning Python like 5 times, and I went back a month ago lol. When I was in the very beginning of my programming journey I was full of ideas as to what I wanted to do and such, but I was clueless as to where to start from. I was so clueless that I couldn't even find the right materials that I needed, so I went on to watching tutorials for very beginners instead, and wow did it feel like climbing a very steep hill. What I'm trying to say is that it is tough in the beginning, but it is definitely worth it when you finally get to the top of the hill. It's as if you're pushing your bike up the hill, and when you're there you finally take a break and go downhill with the wind blowing in your face. It's an amazing feeling. Patience, persistence, ambition, hard work and positivism are the recipe for success. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please give us a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.